Digital transformation is a term I mention repeatedly on this channel and in my other online content, but I found it something that isn't well understood, and particularly is not well understood by those, in terms of individuals and businesses, who could get the most benefit from it. One of the reasons for this confusion is, depending on who you're talking to, digital transformation can mean slightly different things. It is always in some way tied to the idea of taking some business process that might involve some paper pushing or other similar busy work and making it more efficient through digital technology by simplifying, automating and reducing the number or complexity of human touchpoints. But too often it's a term used by a vendor selling a specific type of technology or product that forever links it as an option to whatever the big number was at the bottom of their proposal when they finished their presentation. You wouldn't believe how often, when talking about this with a new client, they tell me that digital transformation is something they've looked at, but they just couldn't afford it. But the important reality to understand is this. Digital transformation is not about any one type of technology or any particular set of processes, and it definitely isn't linked to a particular software or a particular vendor. In most cases, most businesses I work with have many of the tools they need already to start impactful digital transformation today that can very quickly boost productivity, accrue savings, or increase your team's satisfaction at work. So in this video, I'm going to dive into digital transformation at the foundation level, help you to understand what it's all about, what it shouldn't be about, and how, while there are lots of investments you could make that could help your journey, you can probably get started this week without spending a dime. But first, a quick introduction. My name is Nick DeCourcy and I'm the owner of Bright Ideas Agency, a digital transformation consulting firm dedicated to the needs of smaller businesses. We focus on the digital transformation philosophies I will share in this video to help businesses around the world get more from their technology. If you're interested in working with me, see the links below for options on how to get started. Before we start, let's ask an important question. Who should be interested in digital transformation? Well, when we talk about the digitization of processes, in general, we're thinking about the types of work that knowledge workers are involved in. People who do a fair amount of their work in an office environment, on a computer, dealing with information of some type or other. At the edges, digital transformation can totally be a benefit and relevant to different types of workers. Firstly, because you're making back office processes that impact them more streamlined, but also because increasingly there's technology we can move out of office settings to have relevance in different types of work. But for the purpose of this video, let's think about those knowledge workers dealing with information in traditional office roles. So who of those types of workers should be interested in digital transformation? Well, my answer is all of them, but often from very different perspectives. If you're the CEO of your business, you're clearly going to have a very different impact if you decide that digital transformation is on your agenda than if you're the receptionist. But for individuals or small teams, it is entirely possible to focus on digital transformation within certain constraints that can allow you to get more done and to stress less. The catalyst for businesses getting more from technology is often just an individual or small group taking interest in making it so. And while sometimes that impetus does come from the top down, I've seen it work very successfully the other way too, particularly in smaller organisations. The traditional way to think about digital transformation is that a business decides it needs some big change in its systems. Maybe you have an outdated CRM or customer relationship management system. You go and hire a consultant or you go directly to a vendor. There's lots of meetings, a lot of money is spent, and then one day you turn on the system and it changes how you do some stuff. There's nothing intrinsically wrong with this approach. Sometimes this sort of project works well and sometimes it doesn't. I work with clients from time to time who want to do projects this way, and I have no opposition to helping businesses who want this kind of drop-in solution to a particular pain point approach. However, too often this approach is synonymous with the term digital transformation, and I don't think that's right. I see this as a digital replacement that can be part of a wider transformation, but isn't necessarily so. So if that kind of big project that leads to some flashy new software isn't digital transformation, then what is? Before we answer that question, can I ask a favour? If you're finding this video helpful, can you give it a thumbs up so it gets in front of more interested people? And if you want to see more like this, please make sure you're subscribed. Thanks. Over 15 years ago, early in my career, I joined an organisation where one of my responsibilities was hiring out the business's spaces to external clients. This was a new role connected to new revenue generation targets the organisation had put into place. But I discovered that this work was functionally impossible to do at any efficient scale because there was no centralised, shared or digitised schedule of space use across the business. I was just playing whack-a-mole with bookings, where I would take an inquiry and then go see the person responsible for booking one room, and by the time I got around all the pieces of the request had just moved on to a different venue. The reason there was no electronic centralised system to do this wasn't that the technology didn't exist, or that it hadn't been explored, just that each individual department had radically different processes in place, and trying to find a solution that could be coaxed into meeting all those process needs was incredibly complicated and thus incredibly expensive. The organisation's various departmental managers had therefore convinced themselves that their needs were just too unique to be able to adopt a tool that could be bought without eye-watering cost or complexity. That number at the bottom of the vendor's proposal was getting in the way of their digital transformation, and they had got locked into thinking a highly complex solution that met every one of their needs was the only route forward. Well, in my new role, I didn't care about replicating every part of every process every department had for their room bookings. I just needed a calendar that could tell me what was free on a given day when someone called or emailed. So instead of trying to find a new solution to the old problem, I found a solution to a new, simpler problem. I found an open source room scheduling solution that seemed to mostly fit the bill. I did a little reworking of how the information in its database got presented using PHP and CSS, and got a couple of the more open departments to sign on to the idea that it could work. I then went to an executive meeting with my new tool in hand to explain why fixing the basic scheduling issue didn't require months of work and hundreds of thousands of dollars of spend, but a simple open source package that could be run on any old server. Very quickly, everyone who believed their processes were too complex opened up to the idea of a central schedule, as it had benefits for every user. Over the course of the next year, those different processes organically started to come into alignment with each other as people worked together more on scheduling issues. By 12 months in, we were ready to invite back one of those specialist software vendors that had bid the project before and invite them to solve our now much simpler problem. This time they were able to deliver a less complex product at a smaller price because we had simplified what we were looking for. This experience highlighted to me that even problems requiring fairly complex technology solutions are far more about the people and culture of organisations than they are to do with the technical tools themselves. I would say that digital transformation is 80% people and 20% technology in most cases. And too often when you go out and just get a bid from a vendor on some new tool, you are mainly just getting that 20% technology piece taken care of. Very occasionally, I will still engage with businesses that have significant parts of the back office functions operating without any relevant technology in place, so there simply isn't a tool set to enact technology change. But far more often, I will find businesses that do already have relevant technologies, and their lack of impact on digitally transforming the business has far more to do with how people are working and a lack of upskilling than it does to do with any built-in weaknesses in the software platforms they've already bought. I'll meet with a client that has a perfectly competent, but maybe not the latest, finance software, and find many of the records are not in the software but on notebooks near people's desks. I'll go to offices that have perfectly sufficient CRM systems, not the latest ones, but ones that work fine, and yet much of the data that should be in that platform is filling cabinets or scrawled across whiteboards on the walls. Many times the way this issue is described by the business owner is our finance system isn't working for us, or our CRM is out of date, with the understanding that the solution is to buy something new. And many vendors will oblige, selling that business thousands, tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars of new tools that do much the same as the old tools. They don't do this maliciously, but they do so because the business owner identified the wrong problem, and the vendor didn't think to, or didn't know to, ask the right questions. Now, don't misunderstand my point here. Investing in a new platform and creating a blank slate can be an important component in achieving robust digital transformation. It can be a vital psychological boost to employees who felt their old tools weren't working for them. But it's important to understand that often employees will feel that tools aren't working for them, when the reality is that they haven't been trained to, or your processes haven't been designed to, put those tools to work. The difference in the wording of these problems is subtle, but the operational impact of that difference is profound. Implementing a new software platform for anything without extensive training, support, and process redesign to eliminate friction points isn't digital transformation. It's just buying some new software. And you can achieve digital transformation without buying anything new if you're smart about what you're looking for. Let's forget about fancy systems and go back to basics of tools everyone has. If you license Microsoft 365 within your company, then in a lot of cases you have every tool you need to achieve fairly radical digital transformation of a lot of inefficient processes. Not for everything. Microsoft 365 doesn't give you some enterprise-grade finance system or email marketing platform, but it does give you a core set of tools that probably can be involved in 80% of what you do day to day. Making it easier to book internal meetings using Microsoft Bookings is digital transformation. Taking that spreadsheet everyone messes up every week and moving it into Microsoft Lists is digital transformation. Using some time to get the right tabs in your Teams channel so that people working there have easy access to the right resources is digital transformation. These are capabilities that already exist in your Microsoft 365 subscription, and leveraging them to make your business better should be on your digital transformation roadmap where it makes sense. Creating a culture of enhancing the skills your teams have in using the tools you've already invested in, building out groups of champions for your technology and work practices, ensuring there's the opportunity to question why things are done the way they're done, and maximising the adoption of those platforms you choose to buy are all zero-cost elements of highly impactful digital transformation. You build a culture where these approaches are prevalent, and it's going to help you achieve more on an ongoing basis and build strong foundations for when your transformation efforts involve adopting new tools in the future. The great thing about this is that culture can start from anywhere. Of course, a business owner can make it an important aspect of how you operate across your business. But if you're an individual contributor or a team leader and you're watching a video like this, then clearly you're already interested in how building knowledge can improve your work and your business performance. An individual isn't going to buy some fancy new system unilaterally, but you can start to evidence how being focused on making the best use of the tools you already have can provide a radical advantage in getting stuff done efficiently. One of the first steps I take with many of my new clients is to conduct a digital transformation assessment. This is an exercise of gathering information from across the organisation to understand what technical capabilities exist, what work is being undertaken, and where there are pain points. The aim is to create a holistic picture of where the business can benefit from digital transformation approaches, from better training to fuller adoption to deploying new systems, rather than just starting at what should be the last step of we need a new whatever it is that's the current focus. Instead of starting off by getting a bid on replacing a certain tool, start with a digital transformation assessment that can look at the whole picture. Did you know you can book me on an hour-by-hour basis as a virtual digital transformation coach? It's topics like these we can cover in those sessions to help you level up your digital capabilities one step at a time, connecting tools you might be paying for but underusing with the pain points that you're working through every day. These sessions can be transformative by giving you the extra information you need and nudges in the right direction to ensure your technology, whether it be tools like Microsoft 365, Power Platform, AI, or something else, is working for you instead of you working for it. More information on this and pricing is available through the links below. And if you're watching this before the end of 2023, I have a flash sale running through December 31st, where any available session you book for 2024 will be over 30% off. There's no better time to get started with this than right now. I hope this video has helped your understanding of how digital transformation as a concept can help your business. Thanks for watching through to the end. Until the next video, bye bye.